Hi everyone, Brad Moore here with the Maguire real estate team. I'm here with our partner, Dom Frittelli. Dom, it's great to have you here. So just wanted to go into a little bit about your story, your journey, like how you got here. And I think it's really interesting, like how you ended up in real estate and where everything started, and all the way from our days back in Westchester University, and now we're here helping people buy and sell real estate.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, I appreciate it. Went to college here in Westchester about 12 years ago or so, and knew I always wanted to end up back in the area. And I always had kind of a love for architecture and homes and things like that in general. And real estate was always kind of in the back of my mind, but I worked, two different inside sales jobs out of college, which, were fine, but I knew I wanted a career where I could, meet and be with people face to face, shake hands, and I knew I wanted a job where I could really, truly help people. And in addition to that, what I was looking for in a career and a job, real estate just checked off a lot of boxes. So that's when I inevitably reached out to you and the team, and long story short, was lucky enough to have the opportunity to be on the team, and we've been cruising ever since.
Yeah, I think it's, I'll never forget the phone call, because you're like, hey Brad, I'm looking to get into real estate, and then I'm like, all right, well cool, whatever you need, and I connected you, I think, with a team leader or what have you down in the Philadelphia market, and then I think I kind of cued you, well, if you ever think about it, give me a call. And then 24 hours later, I think you called and you're like, hey, let's do this.
It's so crazy. Yeah. It was because I talked to you because I knew you were in real estate. We were friends in college. We weren't super close, but you looked like you were, had it together. You had a successful business, and I wanted to reach out to just find out more information on it. And I remember you said to me, if you know anyone who's interested in the Westchester area, because I thought I was going to stay in the city of Philadelphia, and I did. It took 24 hours, and I thought, why pass up this opportunity to work with someone that I know, someone who's got a successful career in the industry that I want to be in, and called you the next day and said, where do I sign up?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I think one of the things too is your prior experience with your inside sales at your one company that you were with. I think just almost married up pretty well with real estate. Just real estate's a lot more client focused as far as in a hands-on way, where you were kind of doing more behind the scenes in a I guess behind a computer screen, really doing almost like what a lot of people are doing today, Zoom presentations and all that kind of stuff. But real estate, gets you in front of people a little bit different, and it's just been amazing to see how you've excelled at such a quick pace.
I appreciate it, and I knew it was something that I wanted to do. My previous jobs were more business to business, so I knew I wanted to be on the business to consumer side of things. I'm very familiar with talking to people, working through difficult conversations, negotiating, things like that. So I was able to transfer a lot of that into the real estate industry, but also have a lot more of what I consider upside of the job, as far as working with people face to face and shaking hands, and again, helping them out with a massive purchase in their life. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. And then just out of if you can give people just a little bit of insight as far as what really interests you about real estate. There's obviously the cool thing about real estate is there's so many different levels, from obviously helping people buy, sell, rent, to investing. There you can go all kind of different directions. What are a few things that really turned you on to the whole real estate industry and business?
Sure. I think the very first thing, as with most people do, is just looking at homes. It's a lot of fun. Half the fun of the job is actually getting to go through some of these gorgeous homes in Chester County, and that's just one of those things that a lot of people love, looking at the renovations, the fixer-uppers, the gorgeous homes they see online or on the website. So that was really the first thing that interests me in potentially getting into the occupation. But aside from that, as I kind of mentioned before, it's just working with people. I knew I wanted to be working with people on a different basis, and the people and the clients are really one of the most interesting parts of the job. No two clients, no two customers are ever the same. So it's fun to kind of navigate those different situations and those different personalities. to get people to the settlement table.
Yeah, which I think is great. And I think like one of the really cool things, and I feel like not everybody has this, but you have it, is that you are focused on making sure people are buying the right home and not just any home. Like you're following the lead as far as like, hey, if this isn't the right home, like you keep moving. You're like, hey, let's wait till we get to the next to the right home. And I think it says a lot about you, your character, and all that, because I always say, like, I like to sleep at night, and I think it's just like that. You have the same mindset and mentality, and it's like the coolest thing is when they do find the right home. And I mean, what's that kind of like for you when you do find when you're out with our clients or with the clients and they find the right home? Like, how is that for you?
Well, it's exciting at the end of the day, and a lot of clients really do get that feeling when they walk into that home that they know is the one. And sometimes we're only a couple steps in, and that feeling right away. And it's great for me because that's my job, is to help people find their inevitable dream home. So when people do get into the property and they actually get to look around and they know that this is their dream home there, it's really exciting part of the process, and it's part of the reason why we do it. So it's like you said before, and kind of how we always say, it's not necessarily about finding people a home, it's about finding people the right home. So
yeah, which is, I think it's just so cool. And I think, which I'm sure some people know, but I think it's really good for people to know. I think how you operate, you're very systematic, and you have like the morning routine down, you have the follow-up routine down. Like, where did you pick like those skills up, like, or that regimen? Because I think it's really helped you excel at a faster pace than possibly some other people, just because you're just dialed in. And I think it's really important for people to know like how dialed in you are, because it shows in your success.
Yeah, it started for me probably a couple years ago, and I owe a lot of it to other people. I've asked a lot of questions. I've listened to a lot of different individuals, whether it be through reading their books or listen to their podcasts. I listen and read a lot of things on, not necessarily self-help, but finding ways to either
kind of like self-development, self-improvement.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I read a lot of books on self-development and things of that nature. So I started to try to formulate different ways to either, get the most out of my day, be the most efficient that I possibly can be. And I kind of put myself in the buyer's shoes a lot of times too. Like, how can I explain this in a way that's going to make the most sense to them? Or if it's something I didn't know a lot about, how can I explain this in a way to them that they're going to understand it and be able to make the best decision possible? So, on top of that, I structure my day around people who have already had success. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's more a matter of taking what has been successful for other people and other individuals and trying to duplicate that myself.
Sure. So. Very cool. Very cool. So I guess it's been a couple years now or so. I don't know, time's flying as long as you've been in. Like, what would you say has been like one of like the most exciting moments as far as like getting into real estate?
I think one of the most exciting moments of the job is probably what I refer to as the call that you get to make to people. So when you're putting in an offer on a property, or they do go through that property and it's the one, they're super excited, and we put in the offer. Especially recently, there've been a lot of multiple offer situations, so it can be a stressful time, but getting to make that call to people to tell them that, hey, you guys got it. You got the offer. This is gonna be your home. You're going under contract on it. And they get to hear that reaction on the other side of the line. People are super excited. They're laughing. Sometimes they're crying, just because they're thrilled that they were able to secure their dream home and get them one step closer to the settlement table. So that's definitely one of those aspects of the jobs that never gets old.
Yeah, I like how you like label it the call. And I think like getting to the call, there's a lot of skill and tact that goes into that, because winning deals is obviously, it can be challenging, especially with like the multiple offer situation. I think, maybe dive in a little bit of like, how you've been able to win deals and making sure that the clients are in the position to win. Because put it this way, the call, we want it to be the good call, you know? And so how have you been able to really do that at a high level?
Yeah, it's a couple different things, but first and foremost, just setting expectations with people. You go into different markets every single year. As far as the real estate market, it's constantly changing. Seller's market, buyer's market, whatever it might be. But setting expectations with the buyer as far as what they're walking into. Trying to find out the most information as possible so you can convey that to the clients as best you can. And look, we can't make decisions on behalf of the client. All we can do is just get them the most information possible, set them up for the best position to be successful, and have them make the most informed decision possible. So you can hopefully put them in a position where they can win the deal and they can get the deal. My job is just to facilitate that and again, get them as much information as I possibly can. So yeah, setting expectations, being able to help them navigate the offer process, strategies involved in that, whether that be through negotiations, whether it be what to include or exclude from offers. There's a lot of information that goes into it. But again, I try to be as detailed and as thorough as possible so they know all the ins and outs of the contract, of the process, and all that stuff in order to best set themselves up for success and set myself up for success too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the overall I think it comes down to a big component is communication too. And I think there's a little bit of a secret sauce, behind what we do in order to, navigate that. And, I think one of the biggest components is communication. A lot of people today, are stuck on, doing just email or just doing text message instead of making the call. And I think, one of the things that's an easy thing to do is we just make the calls too, to really get a good insight as far as where our clients need to be. And I think you do an awesome job with that. So Dom, just before we close out here, what is it that really keeps you motivated, energized, being in real estate and just, the real estate industry as a whole?
Well, look, the job in general is just fun. It's not only being able to help people with one of the largest purchases they're ever going to make in their life, but on top of that, working with people on a regular basis and helping people through the process. Every situation's a little different, every home's a little bit different, so the job is constantly changing, and it's not an average, mundane, everyday 9 to 5, which is what I love about it. But on top of that too, I think what's keeping me going and keeping me engaged is also the success that we're having as a team and personally as well too. Yeah, I don't mean for that to come off in the wrong way, but I think once you start to see success and you start to see that you're really good at something and helping people out, and again, you can help people along the way, it's really something that has been great for me as a person and as I grow professionally too, so.
Well, success breeds confidence, and you're definitely super confident, which is awesome. And I think that just goes to show, everybody that, when you do start having success, you start winning, and other people around you start winning, and it's just really cool to see. It's going to be awesome to continue the journey.
Yeah, thanks again. I appreciate you having me on here, and I look forward to continuing the journey.